Good morning. Crystal at the Best Little Flower Ranch in Arizona. So this is called a shungiku, and I am in love with this. It was blooming all summer, and now that it's cooled off, it's way more prolific. I just am so in love with this plant. And it will reseed, near as I can tell. This is my first time growing this, and I planted it from seed. And they look super pretty next to the sunflowers. And so I've got some more sunflowers about to bloom, and there's some more there. This year on the ranch, it's experimental, and I did several successions of sunflowers, just a few, not a lot. And I'm going to be taking the flowers around. I'm going to make little bouquets, and I'm going to take some down to Williams and show them to some people I've been building a rapport with. Those right there are Starburst Panache, and they were planted in the middle of the summer. And this is very undeveloped soil, and I actually kind of like how small and diminutive they are, but they will get big because I planted some earlier in the season and they got really big with thick stalks, and they were branching, and these aren't even branching. So there is a way to get branching sunflowers to grow as singles and have a nice size for smaller containers, than like the kind I'm using, the mason jars. So, you know, ultimately I'd like to have multiple sizes of flowers. I'd like to have the bigger ones with longer stems, but I'll take those. Those are long enough. So I'm going to be cutting those and cutting some shungiku. And we have yarrow. Look at this beauty. Now, I planted these from seed in early spring. I believe it was the end of March in here. And so you can see I've got, this is all, I guess it would be considered first year yarrow. And some of these have been split, and I'm going to be pulling some of these up and planting them in other places and create a larger bed of yarrow. And I also have this Firefly Peach Sky coming, and I got it at Proven Winners, and it's not real happy, but I think it'll survive. It's still alive. There's some new growth coming on. I think I need to cut off all the leaves. So these are some of the flowers here at the Sunflower Ranch. That's what I was thinking about calling this place. But I really want to have a variety of flowers to offer for bouquets and other and I also want to do like DIY buckets and things like that. Maybe wholesale to florists and things. I don't know, it just depends on where the opportunity is once I get into all of this. Usually when you do flower farming, you know, when you get started, you might not know where the opportunity is exactly. Well, in any business, that's what I've learned. So you have to pick a few ways to go about things and see what sticks technically. And then you might discover something you didn't know 3 years later. But anyways, so these are my chrysanthemums, which looked so beautiful, but now they need to be cut back. And I was hoping to be able to make some more arrangements with these flowers, but I wish I had cut them, because I still have cut ones that I cut when those were still nice in a vase. So I wish I had cut them a while back, and they'd be happy and beautiful still. Some of them anyways. More sunflowers here. The sedum is starting to bloom out. So I'm really looking forward to that. This is Autumn Joy sedum. And a lot of cut flower farmers seem to really like this plant, and it looks like it's pretty happy. And I even stuck a piece that fell off into the ground here, and so I'm going to try to propagate this so I can have a larger bed of them and see how they do over the winter with these. And this is a pretty small stalk, but we'll see. Apparently these are pretty prolific, and they really have a strong will to live. But let's take a look at this. I just am so happy with the way these Shunkikus look. So pretty. So those are the flowers that I have available at the Raindance Ranch, and then I will continue to be growing. And I'm about to plant some Love in a Mist. So hopefully that'll be a new flower that I'll be introducing here. We're just getting rolling. And eventually all these areas over here will be developed. Well, by next spring, all these areas here in this particular garden will be developed. And hopefully I'll be able to do some more areas. We're gonna do peonies. I was hoping to be able to get peonies in here in the fall right this year, but I think it's just gonna have to wait, because that's the way life is. You can't always make everything happen all at once. But a little bit of progress all the time makes a difference. And these are just some plants that most of this is plants that I got because they were on sale for $2 at Tractor Supply, because they looked really sad. And I really like having a lot of flowers around. Plus I wanted to see if some of these would be good cut flowers, like this one. But it does okay. They're not the best for cut flowers, and I may try to use those in the bouquet I'm about to make. But I also have 2 kinds of mint that I want to use for greenery. And this is a spearmint, and it has a really pretty flower. See, here's that. And I will use this in the small mason jars. And that's an apple mint. So we've got a spearmint and an apple mint, which I think is really nice in a cut flower arrangement. All right, so this is Crystal from the Best Little Flower Ranch in Arizona. Just getting started. So hope you join me on my journey. And eventually I'm going to be selling plug trays to anywhere in America where there's no limitations on unless there's a specific plant where there's some kind of limitation that you can't sell in Idaho or California or some other state that has some restrictions. So thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you stopping by.